Good morning everybody, and a very big welcome to all our visitors here, our interstate visitors, both riders and spectators. I'm sure you're in for a great week, great day's racing here, the final day of the World Superbike Championship. First event on the program, we've all said, it's a 125 Super Pre Cup. And the main qualifiers in this one was bike number 25, Trevor Manley, on the BP Australia Honda, and a 147.92. Second qualifier was Hughie Kirby on bike number 5 on the Team Power Play Bridgestone Aprilia in a 148.39. Next was young Garry McCoy from New South Wales, who's got himself a Grand Prix ride next year on the Aprilia. He was third fastest qualifier, 149.06. Then came Kenny Fisher Jr. on bike number 4, entered by AB Race Tune, also on Honda, on a 149.59. Running out the front row will be number 8, the young whiz kid from South Australia, young Glen Richards, son of Peter Richards, who's a very famous name in motorcycle racing from South Australia a few years ago. Young Glen's taken over from where his dad left off, and he's riding bike number 8, entered by Peter Richards Joinery on a Honda, and he's 149.94, and I talked to Glen this morning, and he's going to go quicker than that qualifying time. Didn't have good qualifying. He was a bit unhappy with that, but he got on the front row anyhow. Second row was Lin Walsh, one of our top lady riders here in Victoria, or Australia I should say for that matter, on bike number 37, entered by Mick Hone Motorcycles, and Uncle Mick down there sporting a new haircut, and he was very happy this morning with the way the boys performed yesterday. Is that right? He was even smiling this morning, Mick, so we cracked it for a smile out of Mick. And Linda gets a fair bit of help from Mick, so on behalf of Linda, once again, a big thank you to Mick. She qualified in 152.09, and that's pretty good for Linda. She's had a very bad year. She's been very, very sick girl, and slowly but surely getting over that. And she qualified in 6th position. Peter Vincent on bike number 14. I think he's riding Hughie Kirby's Honda in this race. His own is for sale. He's entered by Ascot Alloy Welding on the Honda, a 152.64. His teammate alongside him, number 61, Peter Scott, entered by Peter Scott on a Honda, and a 153.50. Then comes Craig Simpson, running out the second row, entered by Craig Simpson on 153.66, also riding Honda. Now bike number 7, Kevin Sayers, was down on qualifying a little bit there, and a 154.76. I'm sure we'll see a better run from Kevin, affectionately known as the Angry Ant these days. So keep your eye on bike number 7. He'll be up there. He'll be on row 3. Number 9 is Jason Van Fleet from Queensland, and 156.45. First time we've seen Jason down here, I think. 55 is Laurie Smith, and 156.53. Now, just looking back as the riders are starting to complete their lap, I'll just go through the rest of the runners. Michael Klein from Queensland. Now, I don't know if there's any relation to, this will be a Klein from Queensland race at Bathurst round back in the 60s, and I don't know whether there's any relation or not there. An unusual name. Paul Conn on 132. Mark Willis on 68. Ray Smith on 81. Young Andrew Willie on bike number 70. Tim Casemore on 33. 160 is Peter Miller. 79, another young lady rider there, Priya Mahaj. And 82, rounding out the 22 riders there, is Craig Hannell. Craig qualifying. The riders that missed out are David Brown, Mark Backaway, and Leesky, another young lady rider, missing out there, bad luck for Ann. Branko Dragonet, Colin White, Darren Tyndale and David Whale missing out there. Right, well we're in just about completed. One rider to come back in. I think there might have been a rider went out late there. Whether she's come back or not. And I think, is that Trevor Manley back at the rear of the grid there? Trevor Manley pedalling the bike down. Now I think Trevor Manley may have a problem on the BP Australia Honda. Yes, Trevor Manley, top qualifier on 147.92, and he's been left at the start there, so he's starting from the rear of the grid, and it's coming through very fast with Linda Walsh. Linda Walsh took over the lead there from bike number 8, who was Glen Richards. And Trevor Manley left on the line here. This is a 12-lap journey, and that's bad luck for Trevor. Sitting down in the tent there this morning talking to me. He didn't have a problem in the world, but he's got one now, and the bike hasn't fired up for Trevor. Well, that's disaster, and big dramas there in the 1-2-5 race. Already we've got dramas with the main contender in this race, Trevor Manley being a non-starter. Well, it was bad luck there for Trevor Will, and on the VP Australia Honda. We're waiting for everybody to come out of Southern Loop for the first time. Lin Walsh has just been past there. She dropped back into second place. Great effort coming up there from Lin. That might be Hughie. Kirby, I think, down in Aprilia, has taken over the lead. Richards is up there as well, and also great start there from Linda Walsh on bike number 37. Well, conditions a lot better today for our hard-working officials who were out there till 9 o'clock last night, and how they got through that day, Will, in those conditions. They really all deserve a medal, those people. It was bad enough up here. We was undercover, and all those boys and girls that were down there doing some fantastic jobs for those competitors out there deserve a medal. I think Linda Walsh has got a problem going up the back straight there, up over the top of Lukey. She's lost about 4 or 5 positions there and dropped back into 5th spot at the moment.
Yeah, it was a great effort last night from everybody, competitors, all the officials, spectators even. It's unusual to be a hero when you're a spectator, but I reckon the people who stayed through last night were, and certainly gave the winners and all the place getters, indeed everybody was out there, a tremendous welcome. Well, here they come now at the end of the first of 12 laps in the 1-2-5s, and in second place there, running well's Kevin Sayers, but it's Hugh Kirby going best of all on the Aprilia.
And Garry McCoy in that 3rd place, so young Garry McCoy, and I see Barry Sheen down there this morning. He'll be watching the exploits there of Garry McCoy with a lot of interest. So young Kevin Sayers didn't qualify well yesterday, but as I said, he'll be up there, and he's not very far behind Hughie Kirby now, riding bike number 5, the Aprilia, and Kevin's on the Honda. And Garry McCoy back there in 3rd place, or he's got himself a ride next year in the Grand Prix, so just another Aussie that we'll be watching next year.
Down the tail of the field is Pratika Maharaj in 79. It's actually a 1987 model bike, and she not only hasn't been racing very long, she hasn't been riding motorcycles very long, but she's made enormous improvements to her times in recent time. And she's out there and having a go and dead keen to keep improving, as she's done in the early part of her career. So just as worthy is Pratika Maharaj back there on 79 as everybody else in the field with much more experience.
Yeah, she's a lovely young girl, and I've watched her career. She's only been riding this year actually, and she comes up to Broadford there, has a conversation with you, and both her and Ann Leesky started racing together. And Cricketer has qualified, and Anne missed out, which was bad luck. It would have been nice to see them both out there doing battle with one another as they come around to complete lap 2. And looks like a bit of a clear away from here at the moment. There's only early days yet by Hughie Kirby. Kevin Sayers, bike number 4, coming up into 3rd place. That's Ken Fisher Jr. And then come 24, Garry McCoy. So Kenny Fish Jr., I think, is leading the Australian Road Race Championship at the moment, having a very good year. Trevor Manley won the Victorian 1-2-5 title from Hughie Kirby and Kevin Sayers. So they had a great battle over the rounds here in Victoria. And they're all down at Southern Loop, and they've cleared away, right away from the rest of the field at the moment. We're on TV there at the moment, yes. Kevin Sayers on the inside there of Kevin Sayers down at the loop. And that was Ken Fisher Jr., but I think you'd be hard-pressed to pass the Angry Ant down in that area as they're round through Siberia now, come down through Honda, through Siberia, and actually the sun's shining over there, and the boys and girls over there will be thawing out, no doubt about that.
Kevin Sayers doing well. He's come from 10th grid position. Fastest qualifier, Trevor Manley. Then it was Hugh Kerry on 5, Garry McCoy on 24, Ken Fisher on 4, Glen Richards on 8. But Kevin Sayers on 7, Qualified 10th, a 54.76 by comparison with a 47.92 for Trevor Manley. But of course he had problems during qualifying. Not having many at the moment though.
Well, there's the Angry Ant closing right up there with Hughie Kirby, and this is the way these two guys have been racing all year. Unbelievable, just been so close together. And Trevor Manley, of course, he exerted his authority yesterday with the fastest qualifying time, but the race day is a different thing, of course. They are side by side, and Kirby, sorry, that was Ken Fisher. We've lost Kirby. So that's Ken Fisher's gone into the lead. We lost Hughie Kirby somewhere, and Glen Richards is in 3rd place. Linda Walsh in 4th. Peter Vincent in 5th. Peter Scott in 6th. And that's looked like, I thought that was David Whale going to pass on 68. So what's happened to Hugh Kirby on the Aprilia? And Garry McCoy too was missing out of that lot. So maybe there was a problem down at the loop. We'll try and pick it up on TV.
Great dice this for the lead between 4 and 7 at the moment, with Fisher leading. He's on 4, just ducking to the inside of him is Sayers on 7, trying to get round him, but using all the track is Fisher, going out wide and coming round now, out of Honda corner, off to Siberia and up to the back straight. Tell you about a little bit of activity out there on Bass Straight later in the day. We'll be able to see it from here. Great battle for the lead though. It's a beauty, and back into the lead goes Sayers on 7.
Top of Luke Heights there, and Sayers is on 7, and Kenny Fisher on 4. So they're battling it out in front, and I think still in 4th place there is Linda Walsh, and losing Garry McCoy and Hughie Kirby out of this race has took a bit of interest out of it, but what a great battle out in front at the moment. And here they come right up into Southern Cross corner, ready for the run down Wayne Gardner Straight here. Cleared out right from the rest of the field there now. It's a bit unfortunate. We're a little close with McCoy and Kirby. As they went over the line, Kenny Fisher took the lead from the Angry Ant, Kevin Sayers. In 3rd place coming through and coming home very fast is Linda Walsh as well. It's young Glen Richards on 8.
He's in 3rd place, Richards on 8. And this battle continues with inevitably Fisher leading onto the straight, and then Sayers going by him in a slipstreaming manoeuvre. So let's see if it goes the same way again. It's presently, as they wind them up out of Southern Loop, crank over hard to the left round towards Honda corner. It's back in the lead. Fisher on 4. Sayers down the inside's got him at Honda. Goes to the inside, and this is reminiscent of the superb 125 World Championship deciding race that we saw here back a couple of years ago, where Hans Spahn, the Dutchman, was in with a chance of winning the race, was stitched up by a whole brace of Italians, and ultimately took his hand off the throttle. He was so frustrated by the whole business, took his hand off the throttle and threatened the other riders, angrily waved his fist at them, and thereby lost some ground. The lap record's actually held by Dario Romboni.
Well, there's Ken Fisher going to challenge under brakes there, but very hard to outbrake the Angry Ant over there. He doesn't use any brakes, I don't think, young Kevin Sayers. His brother Billy will be contesting in the 250 Grand Prix class, and I believe his dad is down here this weekend watching the two boys. Billy, himself a former A-grade Grand Prix rider. As they come out of Southern Cross once again, very close to young Kevin Sayers. Fisher's bike does seem to be a little bit quicker down here than Sayers' machine as he pulls out of the stream, but couldn't pass him that time. They just put a lap on Cricketer, and they're side by side as they go into turn 1. Young Glen Richards a bit off the pace there, back there in 3rd place. As a matter of fact, I think Linda Walsh may be picking up a little bit of ground on him, and Peter Vincent going through there on Hugh Kirby's Honda.
Richards is on 8, Linda Walsh on 37, and on 14 in 5th place is Peter Vincent. Pritiko Maharaj on 79 has been lapped. So the battle continues between 7 and 4, Honda corner again, and 7 again into the lead, Sayers.
Lap rider out there on bike number 68 is Mark Willis, handed by Gordon Turner Motorcycles. He's a C grader and qualified at 1:57.66. So he's not going too bad at the moment. Having a battle there with Peter Scott, the A grader, so he's going quite good. So bike number 68, Mark Willis. I did call it as David Weil, but it's his own number, but it is Mark Willis from New South Wales, going very, very nicely as we go back with our race leaders. And they're going up past the hay shed, up over the top of Lukey. 12-lap journey for the 125 Cup, the Grand Prix Cup. Kevin Sayers got this in his sights at the moment. And of course, if Trevor Manley gets his bike going, and Hughie Kirby and Garry McCoy, well, they're going to be well down the line. I can't give them any chance, even riding in the second leg, coming in with no points. So these two guys out in front, really going for a win in the Cup over two 12-lap legs. The second leg later today taking place at the Sidecar Grand Prix. We'll give you the results of that one later on. And it's still Kevin Sayers on bike 7. Ken Fisher tucked right into the slipstream, couldn't get close enough that time. Coming through in third place, the young South Australian whiz kid, bike number 8.
9.3 seconds behind. Linda Walsh just over 2 seconds behind. She's in 4th. Linda Walsh on 37. 5th, Peter Vincent on 14. Then the good dice for 6th and 7th. Very close, just slipstreaming past. 61 was one of them, and that's Peter Scott.
And number 68 is the young rider from Mark Willis from New South Wales. So he's putting in a very nice ride. He's only a C grader, and he's battling out there with Peter Scott, the A grader. So he's putting in a nice ride there.
Yeah, good battle between the two of them.
The race leaders over at Siberia, they're lapping very quick, and the race leader, we've got to call them both race leaders because they're first and second at the moment over at Siberia. And just pulled out another probably a quarter of a second lead over Ken Fisher. And doing it very nice at the moment is young Kevin Sayers on bike number 7 as they went up past the hay shed. Now, this is where Ken Fisher's got to leave his braking, go a little bit late to try and pick up a bit of ground here. Just slower corner at MG. Nice little crowd, a large crowd gathering over there at MG now. And they're going to see some action plus over there during the day. They're seeing it now in the first race of the day, the 125. Here's Fisher coming up through the copse, up to the back wheel there of Kevin Sayers. Couldn't hold it through there though, TV television corner. And he could get right into the slipstream now. Where he's got to be in front is right at the finish line, of course. Not quite close enough yet to pull out of the draft and be there. But that's his plan. That's what he's going to do. I think he's going to harass the Angry Ant right throughout this race. Third place rider coming through. Glen Richards on bike number 8 and Linda Walsh. And she's got a problem. She's got a hand in the air, so she's out. Linda Walsh struck a problem.
It was 9 seconds back to third place, and Linda Walsh was just 2 3/4 seconds behind. She'd made good ground. It's 10.85 seconds back to Peter Vincent, who now comes up into 4th place, but a long way distant from third.
Well, Peter Scott got sick of fighting there with young New South Wales rider Mark Willis, and he's pulled away from him a little bit as Craig Simpson on bike 17 goes through, and bike number 40 is Michael Kine, the Queenslander, going through about midfield for Michael. And I think, to my knowledge, it's the first time I've seen him here at Phillip Island.
Ken Sayers leading on 7, got back on top of Fisher. And great battle though, still hooked together. Fisher losing a little bit of ground, probably about 3/10 of a second.
Kevin Sayers is absolutely brilliant down through Southern Loop and into Honda Corner through Siberia. This where Ken Fisher loses that ground in that area, and he starts to make it up through here, through from MG Corner, picks up a little bit of ground under brakes and up the hill. Out after using up all the circuit over there, he threw caution to the wind because this is the cop area where he done so well on the last lap, but he's a little bit further away this time. And they're going to start picking up the tail enders very, very shortly at the end of this lap as they come down to complete another one. And Fisher's very fast to you. Here he comes again, trying to pull out of the draft. So just pulls out in front of him once again. So Ken Fisher will lose that ground again down through Southern Loop for some unknown reason. young Kevin Sayers is better. Richard goes through in third. Our new fourth place rider will be bike number 14, Peter Vincent. He's inherited fourth place, Peter. Having his last ride, he's got his own 125 Honda for sale. If you're interested, you can see Peter. That's not his that he's riding. That's Hughie Kirby's. And here's that great battle again between Peter Scott and Mark Willis. As a matter of fact, Mark Willis is pulling out of the draft there and might have gone past Scotty down there.
That's 61 and 68. Good dice between the two of them further back in the field.
Now, Ken Fisher, Junior, is a lot closer this time to Kevin Sayers as they go down through Siberia. And he might be able to get into that draft this time. He's a lot closer as they go up that back straight up towards the hay shed and to start to pick up a tail ender in front of it. Could be picking up Mahaja, I think. There's the rider there. Here they go up past the hay shed. Put a lap on that rider there now.
7 laps completed. They're on lap 8 of a 12-lap race.
A couple of tail enders there having a fantastic battle.
53 kilometres around Phillip Island this race.
Great stuff for the 125 class. So disappointed missing out yesterday, but he got a better day today to run in. He got some sunshine. Yesterday they would have been running in the wet as Peter Miller goes past on bike 160. And our leaders are mixed up in this group. You'll see the fastest two coming down. It'll be pretty easy to pick out. And it's still bike number 7, Kevin Sayers. I think Ken Fisher got a bit of a bad run through the lap traffic there. Craig Handel on bike number 82 was one of those riders that just had a lap put on them. No disgrace by those two riders. Richards goes through its third place, unable to do anything about that lead. His bike is definitely off song because we know just what a brilliant rider young Richards is, and his bike is definitely not performing for him today. A long way back here now to 4th place, who's Peter Vincent, still going strong there on his own, having nobody to battle with. These two riders I think might be picking him up, and I think 68, Willis has got past Peter Scott. Scotty's got to be able to do something about that, because one's an A grader, the other one's a C grader, and a little bit more experience there too from Peter Scott.
C grader rapidly becoming an A grader, I think. You learn a lot in a dice like that, as we see among the race leaders. 7, that's Sayers, leading again at the moment, as then chiselling lines and taking as short and as efficient a route as he can. Ken Fisher on 4 starts to haul in Sayers again. Great battle and getting back closer to him.
Well, he's thrown everything at him, Will, and he hasn't been able to get past him yet. Probably getting a little bit frustrated now because he's tried inside line, outside lines. Hasn't been able to get past Kevin Sayers. They've gone through MG Content and travelling very fast, these two. Very close company, picking up more lap riders.
Getting in closer, although they're going at a faster part of the track, they're actually physically getting closer together. So that means that on 4, Fisher is catching Sayers on 7 and goes past him. Comes out of his slipstream, goes past him, and now Sayers hooks up behind Fisher, goes down the straight, and he tries a repass, doesn't quite pull it off, so they turn right then. They go off towards the southern loop, and sweeping bravely round the outside there is 7, Sayers. He didn't quite manage to do it though.
Well, Ken Fisher give Kevin the hurry up there. He said, come on now, you do the chasing. And that's what young Kevin's got to do. So we're into a fantastic finish to this race. And it looks like that's the 2 lap board up there by the look of it. 2 laps to go, would that be correct? As young Mark Willis has got command of that place back in 5th and 6th place. And the leaders are locked together over there as they go up to Siberia. Great race for the 125 Cup. Another 12 lap leg to go later this afternoon.
Yeah, this is right. They're on lap 10 now of the 12 lapper. They've completed 9. So 2 laps plus this one remaining. And back in the lead is Sayers on 7.
There you go. And, I would like to just in front, yeah, wouldn't like to try and pick the winner of this one because these guys are really hard at it. And of course, if they're locked together like this in leg 2, the secret is, of course, the winner the rider with the highest place, if they're tied on points, gets the nod on points if there's a tie there. So the winner of the second leg is probably more important than the winner of the first leg. Strange how it works out, but that's how it is. Here they come now, and they'll have one lap to go. The last lap board, thank you, Brendan. I think Brendan went home last night by the look at him. So Brendan Ferrari with the last lap board, and in front is Ken Fisher Jr. from Kevin Sayers. Kevin Sayers is in there with a big chance. He's the one that's going to do the chasing. If he can get into that draft of Ken Fisher's on the last lap, it's going to be a very close finish. Third place coming through, Glen Richards from South Australia, having a very lonely ride, and I think it's just as well there for Glen because his bike not performing for him. That was bad luck for Lin Walsh on bike number 37. We still haven't had a report on Hughie Kirby and Garry McCoy as yet. We don't know what happened to them bike 33 going through there. One of the qualifiers, Timmy Casemore, the young Victorian rider. Peter Vincent going through there in fourth place.
Leading at the moment is Sayers though on bike 7 on this final lap. The last 4.45 kilometres around Phillip Island. Right out to the white line indeed, to the stripe, curving off the edge of the circuit virtually. And so leading at the moment is Sayers from Fisher on 4, coming up over the top down towards MG corner.
We haven't got them over there yet. Here they are now, just coming into our view, up past the hay shed. Anybody's race, side by side, going down into MG.
An overtaking pass there.
By Kevin Sayers, I think, was it?
Yes, into the lead goes Sayers.
Yes, so young Kev, looks like they're going to be right down to the line, this one. Oh, and he's pulled out away from Fisher. He realises that Fisher, if he can get into that slipstream, oh, what a burst of speed up there by Kevin Sayers. And he's going to try and keep Fisher out. Fisher coming out at Southern Cross Corner very fast though, but just not close enough. I don't think they'll get into that slipstream, so I'd say that it's going to be close. And he has done it, Fisher. He's done it. Ken Fisher takes it from Kevin Sayers. So there you go. Kenny Fisher on bike number 4, Kevin Sayers on bike number 7. And that was a brilliant move there by Ken Fisher Jr. Pretty sure his dad's going to be happy about that one.